The person that commented this said that they were against it if it was too extreme. I'm really unsure about this as I don't want to misunderstand this person. I'm curious as to what you guys think defines extreme and light. Where would you guys draw the line? To me, the lines feel kind of blurred, as a lot of hate that gets into public eye is actually extreme. Hate doesn't make a headline if it isn't extreme. That being said, I still don't like idols getting hate for no reason. Even the smallest hate comment can have a major impact on someone. Even though some idols act like they don't care and act like they can avoid it, it can take a toll on them and their close ones. When you take a 9-to-5 job, you don't have to go through any of this. They get hate for basically living and doing their job. It's sad to see. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that opinion. It's personal preference. I kind of agree, as I feel as though Blackpink's music is maturing. It's good that it finally suits Blackpink and hits the correct demographic now, and I feel as though in terms of music direction, Blackpink are now pursuing a style that suits them better. However, I'm beginning to prefer ITZY. I really like how ITZY change up Teen Crush and make their own concept out of what they do. Every time I listen to an ITZY song, it doesn't follow with similarity. I haven't heard any songs like theirs before, and they don't copy trends, they make their own. That's not to say that Blackpink's music is bad and that I hate it. Yes, say it louder for the people at the back. There are people that refuse to listen to it because it doesn't have yeri. Although I agree in a sense that OT5 Red Velvet is a lot better, and without yeri, or any other member for that matter, Red Velvet wouldn't be where it is now. But Happiness is a strong debut and I love it so much. Yeri was actually in the MV lol. Anyways, I do agree that it would have been better with yeri, as yeri would bring that maknae cuteness charm to the song. However, the lines are distributed quite well without her. I wish this wasn't unpopular. I'd have to disagree there. People don't call YG the worst because of the poor line distribution within their groups. It's mainly because of the shady things the old CEO YG did. He did have to step down in June 2019. The thought of Blackpink ever being near that disgrace really does not help me sleep at night. Some of the things he's done are disgusting. I'm not going to talk about it in this video. I'm sure if you search it up, you could find answers. Yes, YG Entertainment has gotten them awards and hype, but the advertising and promotion methods used are horrible. It's not only frustrating for the fandom but for the artists too. Yes, YG made them popular, but also got Blackpink attacked by malicious haters and did nothing. When the Jennie Lazy scandal happened, they didn't even bother to protect her. Have you ever wondered why iKON and Winner aren't at the same level as Blackpink? Some K-pop stans don't even know who they are. iKON and Winner aren't promoted well at all. Their comeback from 6 months ago only has 26 million views. At the time of its release, the number was much lower. However, Blackpink's comeback from a few days ago reached 100 million. Of course, that's not Blackpink's fault, but it's clear that there is obvious difference in promotion for YG groups. The reason YG is so popular is because of 2NE1 and Big Bang. 2NE1 was disbanded. So to conclude, YG is not a good man and I'm glad he stepped down. Maybe the comment they wrote has a chance of being true in the future when a path without YG is a lot more clear. But the YG Entertainment of now is corrupted. At first I didn't get what they meant by this, but I can sort of see what they mean now. BTS is always dragged into a lot of things, but I feel it's unfair to put this all on ARMYs. It's not just ARMYs that do this, it's really K-pop stans as a whole. An example of this would be commenting under a cake recipe stan Red Velvet, or under a football video commenting an MV link. It puts a bad reputation on K-pop stans and on fandoms, and can't you just think before you do it? There is more to life than K-pop, and literally other than the people that stan K-pop, no one cares. I get that you may want to say it, but what are the chances of a K-pop stan actually being there? What are the chances of non-K-pop stans thinking that you're so cool and funny for making a K-pop joke? What are the chances of them suddenly becoming a K-pop stan? The answer is probably close to none. Please stop doing this. I disagree so much. That's a no-no for me. Yes, Mamamoo have their problematic past, but they are one of the most influential people in the industry. One of the reasons I stan them is because they aren't afraid to express their thoughts. Moonbyul encourages not having to wear revealing clothing to look good. Hwasa encourages body confidence and being able to wear what you want. Solar shows that girls are just as equal as men, and Ween is open about mental health. As a group, they talk about being confident in your own skin. In Yes I Am and HIP, they have shown their support to the LGBTQ+ community in HIP, and they have shown their support to climate change activists. In HIP, what I love about Mamamoo is the fact that they do all of this on their own will. No one is asking them to stand up for the beliefs. They do it anyway. We need more people like this in the industry. Unfortunately, I don't think they will renew their contracts, but I still hope they do. Yes, it is. In some cases, it is okay. For example, shipping friends together. But when people start giving imagery of idols and their quote-unquote romantic lives, it gets annoying. I don't need to hear about it. It's disgusting. What happens off-camera is none of our business. People fantasizing weird things is so immature. It may come as a shocker for some of you. But these idols are actually people, not dolls for you to ship together. Think about how it affects the idols and their relationships with each other. Imagine being shipped with your friend aggressively. It would be awkward, right? These idols feel the same way. If you think two idols might be a good couple or whatever, it's okay. I'm not stopping you. But please do that low-key, don't be obsessed with it, please. When I say shipping is bad, I'm not saying that idols dating is bad. It's not, and I wouldn't at all mind if two idols announced they were. I'm saying that, as fans, it's simply not our place to try force these relationships on two people. Accept what's there and don't take double meanings from things. I'm not trying to sound modest and innocent when I say I don't really judge visuals, so I can't really say that I share that opinion. I can see why IRENE's visual is praised a lot. When you search for Korean beauty standard, IRENE is one of the first to come up. I think around maybe a month ago I was having a conversation with my friend. I showed her a picture of Hwasa and asked her if she was pretty. I told her about the hate Hwasa got for not fitting the so-called Korean beauty standard, and she was confused. I then searched for the Korean beauty standard and immediately IRENE came up. My friend doesn't really listen to K-pop and knows literally nothing about it other than chicken noodle soup and Converse High, so it was quite interesting to hear her take on beauty standards. I asked her to resend the message so I could show it up here. This is what she said. Seeing as K-pop is from Korea after all, I can see why IRENE's visual is very much appreciated. Beauty standards tend to differ from people to people, so I can see where this person may be coming from. Personally, I don't see the point of praising people for their visuals. I'd say the same thing here. I disagree. But of course, it's your preference. People have opinions and it's not my place to change them. But I do think TZUYU is a gorgeous girl that is talented too. I don't like to compare visuals as it just seems wrong to me. They aren't my dolls for me to compare the looks of, they are real-life people. I don't really think JYP Entertainment is the worst company. There are definitely companies worse out there than JYP. But finally someone acknowledging that JYP isn't the godly company that K-pop stans claim it is. Honestly, the things that JYP have done are so disgusting, but I think that YG, SM or Pledis would have to take that spot. If you are curious, there's a video I would really recommend that goes over a lot of the shady things JYP Entertainment has done. I will link it in the description. I'm kind of half and half on this one, to be honest. Yes, the idea of ITZY's message is innovative and unique. It's one that wasn't really seen around much before ITZY. That was the impact ITZY had. However, the reason I'm not too sure about this one is because of the execution. The actual substance of the message was poor and the execution felt weak. I'm not saying the songs or music videos were bad, we all know they were absolute masterpieces. In this trilogy, I really expected more meaning to it. In a plot line, there is usually 5 main points for narration. 1. Narration. This describes the setting. 2. Rising action. Something happens that shows clear escalation of the struggles the characters face. 3. Climax. The action rises to a high level till it reaches its peak. 4. Falling action. This shows a de-escalation of conflicts. Everything finishes here, for better or for worse. And lastly, 5. Denouement. Loose ends are tied and life after the plot is described. Now obviously, for a music trilogy, it would be impossible to have 5 parts. The minimum expectation would be for stages 1, 2, 3 combined with 4. This would really help the audience digest the message. I think a good example of this would be BTS's Love Yourself message. Love Yourself Her was about love for someone else. That describes the setting. Love Yourself Teo was about love for someone failing. It reaches a climax in this era where all hopes for love end and all sight of persona have gone. Love Yourself Answer, the final installment in the series, showed that true love starts within oneself and that loving someone else without loving yourself is pointless. This is my interpretation and I may be completely off lol. Anyways, with a normal essay, you'd usually put a point, explanation, analysis and conclusion. Seeing as this isn't an essay and rather a musical trilogy, I think we can skip the analysis part. Love Yourself Answer does this. The point is that you should love yourself. The explanation is that the love from the beginning of the series failed because there was not love within themselves. The conclusion is that even though it is hard, self-love is not selfish. For ITZY, the point is to love yourself. Why should you love yourself? I feel that this isn't answered, unless you count Because I'm Dalla. Yes, you are different. But loving yourself when you are different from everyone else is hard. It's not uncommon for longing to be like everyone else. Why should I accept that I'm different? I feel that this isn't answered. The conclusion. The series needed almost without a conclusion that when Not Shy came out, I was shocked. It feels unfinished to me. The concept is a good one. It's diamond like I said before. I'm glad ITZY debuted with something different and they did well with what they were given. I also cannot expect a group to debut with something as in-depth as that. It took BTS years to develop their plot line. I am a huge fan of all of ITZY's releases but none of them really have that I should love myself impact. The concept doesn't really feel like self-love and rather a I should be confident. If you try use the same method to validate a confidence message, you'll see it fits a lot better. I can see why people dislike Eclipse. It's quite slow. However, I love it. It's elegant, and even though the MV doesn't seem to be that high budget, it's still so good. I see what they mean when they say that Card, Dreamcatcher and CLC aren't underrated. It's just that, despite everyone knowing these groups' names and knowing about the group, a small amount of people actually stan those groups. So I wouldn't say these groups are underrated or popular. I haven't really heard much of momoland music. I was going to check them out for this video, but I realized that if I was going to get into momoland, I want to do that naturally. Forcing myself to watch the videos and all the content wouldn't be a positive experience for me, even if the content is good. I'd rather do it later by my own will. I'll trust the person that commented this though, that momoland is high quality.